I've had a pretty serious injury, which has had to have surgery, and from going to training 6 times a week to this, there's a few things that I've learned, discovered about myself through the injury and along the way. And these have really helped me in sort of dealing with it. Number one is put your time elsewhere. Realise that you can't train the way you used to. For example, one of my limbs has been completely out of action. So that's affected me majorly in training. I've realised I can't make any gains in certain areas or progression in any areas, and that's okay. I've decided to put my time elsewhere, focus more on coaching, focus more on creating content, building a brand, and doing my thing. And that's good. That's helped me out a lot. Number two is patience, and I've actually learned what patience is through this injury. So you can read as much as you want about patience, but until you actually have to feel it and understand it rather than just knowing about it, it's a completely different thing. Patience could be a whole separate video, so I'm going to move on to the next thing. And that is learning who actually cares. Now, you need to understand that people have got their own lives and people are focused, and there's this thing called the spotlight theory, and that is true. But by being injured and having to depend on other people, you realise who actually cares about you and who really doesn't. But that's not a bad thing, like I said. Again, I guess it's made me realise that other people have got their own lives that they are trying to sort out, and it's not all about you, okay? But those people who actually care and have shown that, you need to keep hold of them daily because it's a big thing. And lastly, coping. Now, I did read this off the internet when I was doing a little bit of research about injuries and having to overcome them. But coping. Now, injuries are pretty similar to stages of grief. And I know injuries are not as serious as that, but grief has a process of denial, anger, and then acceptance. And that is exactly the same as an injury. And it's pretty cool that I'm having to practice them 3 stages and be in a good position for when bad things are inevitably going to come and I'm going to have to deal with grief later on in my life. And I know that's a little bit too deep, but it is a psychological journey that you're going to have to go through. It's not a physical one because the physical part's already happened. What is really going on is the resilience and the mental toughness that you're building in there, because it gets challenged every single day when you're injured, when you watch other people train, progress in their journey. It's tough, okay? And you can either just give up, put on loads of weight, not bother after being injured and just completely quit, or that mental toughness and that character comes out and you decide to get back on it and try again, because you only ever fail once, you quit completely. So giving up on yourself isn't the way to go. You aren't a loser by having setbacks happen to you or actually losing. It's just how you deal with the loss and the setbacks that determines whether you can be a winner.